I'm also live out there with you. I'm live on Facebook. I'm live on YouTube tonight. It's Caribbean Radio, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like for you to hop on with me, and we're gonna just have some great moments here in the chat room, live on my platform, which is Z Live Radio. But we're broadcasting live, ladies and gentlemen, on Caribbean Radio and sharing the pleasantry of Valentine's Day. That's what it is today. Yes, it was bright. It was beautiful here in New York. Sunny. Felt like better than even Florida. I must tell you that Florida has nothing over us today. And so all the Floridians listening to me tonight, I just wish you would run over and be part of the New York team today. We had a great day. The sunshine was brilliant, and I was on the road for a moment. So first of all, happy Valentine's Day to everybody. Happy Valentine's Day. I want to welcome my guest to Caribbean Radio. She is hanging out with me tonight, and none other than Dr. Bishop Carla Dunbar out of Jamaica. World renowned, I dare say. Jamaica knows her, and the world knows her. And she's going to be talking with us tonight as we share a couple of things here inside of our broadcast. Are you there? Are you
Yes,
there?
I am. Can
You
you hear
are
me?
there. I can see you and
Are
you
you
see.
hearing me?
I'm hearing you. Yes, I'm
Of
hearing you.
course. Good
I'm hearing
night,
you.
Bishop. How you doing? It's a pleasure being with you tonight. Look how
It
you
is.
look like Santa Claus
I look like Santa Claus. Oh,
with the
because
white beard and
no,
all.
I'm celebrating Valentine's Day.
I know, right? I
Yeah,
think yeah, we are right. Yeah,
that's what I'm doing. So I had to put on my red
red and white.
vest.
Yes,
That signifies. Why?
I
How
think
come love? Why come? How is it that red signifies love? You have
I
any
don't
idea?
even know. I was asked the question earlier in one of my presentations, sometime, couple days ago.
Hmm.
Well, I guess it signifies the blood of Jesus that flows because it loves us. I'm just saying because red is usually for danger, right?
Uh-huh.
Right, so love dangerously.
I don't know. I really don't know about that, but I often wonder why. You have red roses that sold out like
Well,
today. You
yeah.
know, but there are lots of women who will tell you that they love yellow roses and all that.
Yeah.
So I want to introduce you to Caribbean Radio platform.
Thank you.
Um, it is just one of the biggest platforms around the United States, in Jamaica, anywhere around the world. Tonight, it's the home of the Bro Gary Morning Radio Show. Can be heard every weekday mornings from 6 to 10 a.m. And I mean, when he comes in, he said he does not preach. He basically is a teacher. Sometimes he comes with his collar, invisible collar, and his whip at times where he beats and so on, and straighten us, everybody up that's listening. So I am with that. That's my introduction to Caribbean Radio, and to all the people, the wonderful folks in the chat room, the most liveliest chat room, which is BroGaryRadio.com. That's all, BroGary.com. And everybody everywhere, if you can send that out to all the members and friends and everybody around Jamaica, then they too can be a part of our conversation right here tonight. So welcome
Did you say
again,
Go Gary, Gogary?
BROGARY.com. BROGARY.com. It is so good to see you. And I don't know how I got you away from the goodness of your house, your home, and your wonderful husband. But I want to thank you for coming in and hanging out with me. Very special for us tonight. I have not been on Z Live Radio for almost 1 year until right now.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
So here
Wow.
you are. I know that's me. Bishop Dr. Carla Dunbar, ladies and gentlemen. So
Good night,
cute.
good night to all the peeps in the diaspora, all the
Mhm,
Caribbean people, the
mhm.
Jamaican
Gotta
people,
get
and
my
people
levers
on
here.
Caribbean.
Yes.
Good night to all of you. It's my pleasure being here. Of course,
Mhm.
you know I'm not staying long, right? Because I'm married, very,
You
very,
gotta run.
very.
We know that. So how has it been so far for you? Valentine's Day. Let's talk a little bit about that.
It has been very busy.
Very
Very
busy,
busy.
right?
I have been, yes, I have been speaking all day
Mm-hmm.
on different presentations. My Valentine week started from last week for me in Jamaica because everybody can't get me on a one day. So they
Yes.
have planned different pre-Valentine days where I had to be speaking into today. So for today alone, and this is my fourth time.
Uh-huh.
Since this morning, in between having clients in the office, so it's really been
What
a
do they?
lot
What do
of
they? What do
day.
they talk about though on Valentine's Day? I could understand another day, but on
Well,
Valentine's Day, what is?
today,
Uh-huh.
today I had the Southern Regional Health Authority. There's over almost 200 persons on the live today, and I was talking about loving family and relationships.
Uh-huh.
I have spoken on singleness and loving themselves. I have spoken on fanning the flames of intimacy. That was
Ah,
quite interesting not too long ago.
I could imagine. I could.
People must create different topics, for me to
Uh-huh.
enunciate on. So I just do what I believe God has invested in me to do, and I just speak to the topics that they give me to talk about.
That is.
During this season, it's a pretty busy season because I'm considered the love doctor.
I know. I try to tell the folks that in Jamaica and elsewhere around the world, then you are known as the love doctor. You know, you get people well. People who are sick in love. All the people who are sick in love, you get them well. You just make them well, and
I try my best. Restoring marriages, changing lives, is what the mantra is all about. So it's about
Mhm.
restoring marriages and changing lives, about helping persons to navigate life issues and
Yeah.
navigate the relationships and understanding how to
Hmm.
sustain relationships and marriage to the glory
I
of God.
see. I see. Well, Valentine's Day, right?
Hmm.
I know personally that there are so many Christian people who don't celebrate Valentine's Day. I want your view, right?
My
On
perspective on it.
yeah,
Well, I do celebrate it, just like Christians don't celebrate other things like Christmas and Easter. You have Christians who don't, mostly
Mhm.
persons who believe in the Jewish culture, because they said it's a pagan holiday, it's a pagan day. Just like
Yes,
Christmas, it says pagan. And while I'm not mitigating or negating that information because that rightly could be so, it is the
yes,
reason for which we celebrate it. So we are really celebrating love, not Valentine's Day, right? So I'm celebrating love. Valentine is a person, and because he was of similar of pagan origin, so
uh-huh,
it's centered around that. But we are
yes,
celebrating love, just like at Christmas, whether it was the time Jesus was born or not, we are celebrating the fact that he was born. And love is of God. God is love. And that's what we're celebrating. Love did not come, that it was not originated in Saint Valentine.
uh-huh.
Love originated with God.
With God,
Saint
yes.
Valentine was just a person,
So
right?
we
Who also loved.
so we are celebrating the God kind of love,
We are
right?
celebrating, yeah, the love of God. We are celebrating the agape love, that's an intellectual love where you love with your mind, where you choose to love mind, soul.
Uh-huh.
Where we're celebrating the filial love, friendship, and family. We're celebrating the romantic aspect, the eros and the storge. We're celebrating the philautia love, which is love of self, which the Bible
Mm-hmm.
said, love your neighbor as yourself. So we're celebrating those love, which the original Greek word gives you all of those definitions for it. But we're celebrating most importantly John 3:16.
John 3:16.
Yes, for
God
God
so
so
loved
loved
the
that
world.
he gave.
That he
That's the
gave.
kind of love. That's what we are
Now
doing. We're celebrating the giving love.
many people will say though, so but we do that every day.
Yeah. We do every day, and we ought to do it every day. It's just that a little bit more emphasis is placed on it, and nothing is wrong with that emphasis
Right.
being placed on something to strengthen it
Uh-huh.
and then to redirect us. I was speaking to a group just now about recreating our love because
Yes.
romantic love wanes. Filial love wanes. You know, if you want in Jamaica, we say if you want the pot for boil, would have to push a fire. So
Ah,
these
burn up a
love
fire.
sometimes they wane, they get
Yeah.
stale, they go down, and you have to stoke it, you have to fan it.
Hmm.
So I think what this does, it brings us back into focus. People go out and they go out on a limb to ensure that the person, the significant person, even mothers and fathers. My employee bought me rum cream and wine today. I mean, it doesn't have to be romantic love. It can be
Okay.
just sharing with a friend or something. But yeah, a lot of emphasis is placed on romantic love.
And romantic love.
But
So it's
nothing.
okay. So then it's okay for the Christian to celebrate if they
Of
want to celebrate.
course,
Yeah, why
it's
not?
okay. You're not celebrating Saint Valentine. You're
Right.
celebrating love.
That
That's what
is
it
so.
is. And love is of God.
Love
That's
is
what
of
we're
God.
celebrating.
So every child of God out there, if you never believed or celebrated Valentine's Day, it's a good time to write a note to your significant other because it's still a young night. Not so.
Yeah.
A lot of people might be out there
Yeah.
on the town.
On
Some of them
dates. People are on dates.
having a good time on the town.
Yes.
But here we are, you know,
Yes.
and I'm so happy for you sharing that part with us about, you know, the Christian view and that we're not celebrating
Saint
Saint
Valentine.
Valentine
No, we're not.
or not Cupid with a bow
No, we're not
and
celebrating Cupid.
his arrow like that flying around and I don't know what.
We're
But
celebrating love.
so before I go further, right? My chat room is very important. So people are coming in on Z Live Radio platform, which I
Mhm.
want them to know that I am also on brogary.com, which is Caribbean radio, Tuesday evenings from 9 to 11. I'm on every Tuesday evening. Tonight is very special because I have you right here. So it's very, very special that we can hang out together. The chat room is alive. I'd love for everybody in the chat room who is telling me hello. You need to say a big hello to my very special guest. That's Bishop Dr. Carla Dunbar. Can you remind us of the church, the name of the church
It's
again?
Life Temple Ministries International. Life Temple Ministries International. It's a specialist ministry. We focus fully on families.
Hmm.
So it's a parent of, it's the child of Carla Dunbar Ministries International. So that's really what it is.
Beautiful,
So Life
beautiful.
Temple Ministries International.
Beautiful. So the chat room, I'd love for you to reach out and say hello. Pretty and know it is saying to you that good night, my lovely Caribbean family, and at Bishop Carla. You know, so lots of folks are there reaching out to us, and we are grateful for Caribbean Radio tonight as we continue to share in this. Broadcast right here on Z Live Radio. So here's my talk with you tonight as we continue. I went to a youth camp one time, right?
Mhm.
I think it was in St. Kitts. And, you know, towards the end of the youth camp, we have banquet. So one boy would, you know, take one young lady to banquet. But at
Mhm.
that youth camp, there wasn't enough young men to go around.
Right.
So one young man had to carry two young ladies, one on
Mhm.
this arm, one on the other arm, to the banquet. Even so, even so, Dr. Dunbar, the there was not enough uh, young boys to go around. So the young ladies they ball. Those who didn't get picked, they ball and they ball and they ball. And I said, "Oh my God!" You know, in such a atmosphere where love is in the air, here are these young ladies whose hearts are broken because nobody picked them, right?
Oh.
Nobody. And it's not because they weren't beautiful enough. There wasn't a whole lot of guys to go around, so some didn't get picked. Here is this though. I'm saying to you, it's Valentine's Day, and I know that there are many young ladies out there who does not didn't have anybody to shoot them a Valentine's, especially any significant other to shoot them a Valentine message or so. What can you tell a young lady because they feel alone? It could, maybe let me back up a little. Maybe they're not just never married. Some are divorced, right? And they are hurting just like that. What can you say to them on this day when people are expressing love and the atmosphere everywhere you go? Love is right out there. Share with us.
You know, one of the things I've been saying to single persons that you're never alone if you enjoy being with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Never alone if you enjoy being with yourself. And one of the things is that I think one of the challenges that we have as people is that we are always wanting what other people have instead of enjoying what you have right now. You have a single status that a lot of people are dying for. A lot of married people are not happy. So
Ah,
you need to be happy with your singleness. You understand and enjoy the status. Your singleness is a gift. The Bible says it. Paul said in 1 Corinthians 7 that your singleness is a gift, just like what marriage is a gift. When you get a
mhm.
gift, what do? You take care of the gift, you nourish the gift, you nurture the gift, you take care of the gift.
Right,
And if you enjoy being with you, then you're never really alone. And if it is that you do not enjoy your own company, then why should somebody else enjoy your own company? You understand? Enjoy
uh-huh,
your company. So you
right,
should strive to be 100% yourself, loving you first.
uh-huh,
You understand? Before wanting to couple up with somebody else, before wanting to ensure that somebody has to pay attention to you. Take yourself on a date if nobody comes to take you on a date. You
uh-huh,
must invest in you, invest in yourself. The Bible says, love your neighbor as yourself. And so
uh-huh.
you must learn to invest in you as a single person before you start seeking for somebody to invest in you. You are not supposed to be a liability, you're supposed to be an asset.
Ah,
You understand?
wow.
So don't be lonely. Enjoy your
Mhm.
own company. Enjoy, appreciate having time to spend with you. Appreciate having been able to build yourself. Appreciate having the kind of life that you want. Appreciate
Yes.
going home to your own space and not having to deal with somebody else's people. Appreciating spending your money on yourself. Victoria can know your secret. And whatever who sell the mail clothes them up there. And whoever carry the mail line,
Uh-huh.
you know your thing, you understand? So yeah, that's what needs to happen. You can't just be about, oh, I need to be with somebody. Come on, get away from that because listen, a lot of us as married people are not happy. You
Ah,
understand? There were many, many days that I was not happy in my marriage. Many, many days. I can share that. I am happy now. I mean, not happy. I'm joyful. Happiness is circumstantial. I am joyful. We are enjoying a better quality of harmony and peace in our relationship because we have matured. But in
mhm.
our formative days, there was not a lot of happiness. So I'm saying, don't seek for persons to make you happy, man. Make yourself happy and take
How did
yourself.
you
Yeah.
how did you get there though? Because the days when you weren't happy, the days when you were, as it were, going through, how did you move yourself from the tough days, the dark days, to where you are now, where you can say that, boy, I am enjoying this, to the fullness. I don't know if it's a step by step, a one, two, because sometimes it's a five steps to being happy again. How did you move yourself from there? How do you get to where you are
You want me to share a secret with you, Bishop? I was never single.
now?
Right? And I have to share this because my story is public, right? I've been in a relationship for however long. I've shared over 40 years with my husband right now. But I understand because there were times when I wanted to be single, and so that is why I'm saying, yeah, the times when I was not happy in my relationship, the times when I wanted to be single, I have to rely on the commitment that I made in my relationship.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? But I have coached and counseled enough single persons, and I have seen where their lives have blossomed and bloomed. you know, because they have taken the advice sometimes that I've given them, rather than sitting around and waiting for somebody to come and make you happy. Don't make marriage a goal. We have a program here in Jamaica called School Challenge Quiz, right?
Mhm.
I don't know if you remember it. Remember that, Bishop? When the
What's the
high
name of it?
schools compete with each other
Yes.
academically,
Right.
right?
Right.
And
Right.
I have never heard one of those young people on School Challenge Quiz introducing themselves and saying, in the future, I want to be married. No, they say in the future, I want to be engineer and doctor and lawyer and these things. So I'm saying marriage is not a goal. You understand? It was a goal for the people back in the day, probably Eve and Sarah and them people here. It's not a goal for us. There's so many other things. Enjoy life in your singleness. Enjoy your single status. If God
Yes.
brings marriage your way, if God brings a relationship your way, then all the more the merrier, because marriage is great. But I'm just saying, don't have your. I mean, most women want to be married, and sometimes some guys want to be married too. But I'm just saying, don't make that your central focus. Make Jesus your central focus. He will
Yes.
grant the desires of your heart. But don't sit down and mope. Take care of your nice. We say we have a saying in Jamaica: take care of your nice, clean self.
A nice, clean self.
Yes,
Take
take care
care.
of a nice, clean self. Nice,
Yes.
bodacious body. If you're a female, take care
Uh-huh.
of yourself, your appearance, your body. Spend money on you. Invest in you, right? That's in the physical, in the academical, in the spiritual, in the emotional, in the mental. Invest in you and take care of you. Build the kind of life and build the kind of character
Yes.
you want to be, so that when you enter into a relationship, you are bringing something to the table, or you are the table itself.
Yes. So flowers are no flowers.
Flowers, buy yourself flowers. You know,
Chocolates
many
are.
times I buy myself things. I buy myself Christmas present and put under the tree. I buy myself chocolate. I'm not a flowers person, so I'm not buy myself the flowers. Right, but a nice wig and clothes there, that me like, a handbag. Right, so I buy myself what I want. I don't sit around waiting on somebody to buy it from, even when it was not as affordable for me as it is now. Like I made myself content with doing things that I like. I'm not waiting for somebody to come and take me on a date. If there's a movie coming out, I'm going to watch it. I'm going to watch a movie. If there's a play coming out, I'm going to watch it. If there's a concert going on, I'm going to watch it. I don't need company to do it.
Right, right. You
Because then you become a liability. You're always needing somebody. You're whole and complete. You lack nothing. God made you whole and complete. Single people are not second class citizens in heaven.
How do we get this? How do we get this message across, though, especially to our young ladies, single, those who are young adults? How do we get it across to our young adults? Because
the church need to teach it, sir. The church needs to teach, not just the young ladies, but the young gentlemen as well.
Young gentlemen as well. Yes.
The church needs to teach it. The church needs to teach it. It needs to be. We need to have. You know why as you know, Bishop, as a part of Church of God Prophecy, and I served wonderfully for 22 years, and I love Church of God Prophecy to my heart because it's my training ground and everything. But the Lord had to call me away to focus on family, and I served Jamaica for 6 years as the National Family Life Director for Church of God Prophecy. But I needed to focus fully on families because the divorce rate is too high, especially in Christendom. And so God had to call me away to focus on restoring and sustaining marriages and families, because God founded the world and families, and He wants to come back and find the world and families. Now, in doing that, I have created a marriage academy. And in that marriage academy, I teach singles as well. The first course I teach is for singles. It's called an MRI. It's a medical term. So, of course, if you are online, who are doctors, and so you will recognize it on a medical term, but that's not what it means. It's an acronym for marriage readiness intelligence.
Right.
Because you have to be intelligent. You have to prepare yourself and your mind. You have to know what it entails to be in a relationship. You can't just want to be in a relationship and don't know what it takes to sustain a relationship. Some relationships are high maintenance, you know. Or do you have the capacity to deal with a relationship there? You understand, with somebody who always wants your attention and your affection, you know, do you have the capacity to deal with that? So these are the things you need to understand about you. So that's why you need to know you first. You need to do introspection. Introspect you. You understand? Know where you stand in your confidence. Know where you stand in your integrity. Know where you stand in your character. Know the things you like and do not like. When you have a good appreciation for those things, then you're ready to take on somebody in your space, because you deal with your problem and your challenge and your issue and your flaws, then you're ready to take on somebody with their set of flaws because they're coming with flaws.
Coming with baggages, a lot of baggages.
And they're coming with issues and they're coming with baggage.
That's right.
You know,
So then, in
double
short,
if you have not dealt with yours.
so really, in short, is preparing your oneself before you go
Exactly.
into this relationship.
Important, sir. You have to
Very,
prepare
very
yourself
Very
first
important.
before you take on somebody else. Because remember, they are human beings just like you. They have
That's right.
flaws just like you, and they are going to come with them. So deal with your flaws. Even before I became a counselor, I had to deal with my own challenges and baggages first. I can't
Yes.
take on other people one. So deal with you first. And look good for you. Look here, remain interesting, look good, look nice, guys and girls. You understand?
Yeah.
And make character more romantic resolution. When you're ready to transition from dating into courtship and marriage, then you'll be able to make character romantic resolution because
That's right.
you'll have
Right.
built your own character.
Right. Amen.
And
Amen.
invested in it. You know?
So Valentine's Day, sometimes it comes with a lot of pressure, right? Especially for the folks that we are talking about in part here, that they don't have a Valentine and so on. So Valentine's Day can spark mental illness, which is something that we are dealing with in our churches, in our homes, in our communities, right? It's widespread. We sometimes don't address it, because we think it's a little demon come on over the individual. And it is really
we demonize everything in a
not true. Isn't that true? Isn't that true? Yeah, we demonize if a little tree leaf blow over the corner there, so we begin to speak in tongues. Mighty God. But how can we really deal with this subject of mental issues in our churches, home, community, sparked by somebody who doesn't have a lover?
Sparked by the lack.
By the lack
that we create in our own minds.
Yeah, yes.
How you don't lack nothing. If God wants to join to somebody, the people now make it join like a Siamese twin. And even if you're a Siamese twin, you have different personality. So it sparks by a lack that we conceive in our own minds, Bishop.
Yeah.
We conceive that we are lonely. You understand? We conceive that we need to have somebody, or we need to have somebody now. We look at somebody, so we say, them have somebody, so we must have somebody too. But we don't know the struggle that them are going to have over there, so. Right? So we conceive that own thing in our own minds, and then it happened. And then there are other persons who probably have lost a loved one,
right,
around the season, or their spouses have died, or they're separated, or they're out of a relationship. Different things create that mental challenge right there. And so the first thing you need to do is to identify what is the causative effect, because you can't treat what you don't know. So the first thing we have to do in our churches and outside of it is to find the causative effect. I am the kind of therapist who likes to treat the root cause and not the leaves.
Right.
Right. So I need to find out. So I'm going to psychoanalyze and find out what is the challenge. What is causing you the challenge? I'll find out that perhaps you lost your loved one some years ago. You have not grieved properly, or you have not been allowed to grieve. Because sometimes church don't allow you to grieve. Family don't allow you to grieve. But how long it gone, you still a ball for? They don't understand. You understand? They say things that they shouldn't say. Like they understand. They understand what? They have not lost somebody. You understand? So we need to allow for people to grieve properly when they have lost somebody. And let me tell you something, Bishop. The loss of a relationship is just as hurtful as the loss of someone in death.
Right.
Because a loss of a relationship is like someone dying. So whether you're a widow or you are broken up with somebody or separated from spouse or whatever, or you had a relationship and it ended badly, or a broken engagement or whatever it is, it's still a loss. And so I treat it the same way. I allow for the persons to go through the same process of the grieving, the loss of the relationship. You understand? I allow them to cry, I allow them to speak, I encourage them to remember the good times rather than the bad times, that kind of a thing. I allow them to go through the anger, if they're angry about it, to speak, to vent. I give them a safe space so that they can deal with their emotions. Because a lot of the time it is when people bottle emotion that it ends up being suicide. Because they're not safe to express themselves. They're not safe to cry. You know, they are not safe to share how they are feeling without being criticized. And the church is very judgmental. We are a judgmental set of people. You know, we cast judgment. We're like Job friends. You know,
Condemnation, a lot of condemnation.
we're generations of Job friends.
Uh-huh.
You know, and so we perpetuate that down to generation. And
Yes,
instead
yes,
of
yes.
we restoring such a one, instead of us giving love and helping to lift up the feeble and stuff, we put them down by judging why they are in the situation that they are in or whatever. Oh, we never know, we didn't know that relationship never ever work, and make them go on anyway because they never work. Yes, sometimes some relationship needs to die. I believe that some relationship needs to die because some relationship just not worth your time and your energy. And I believe that sometimes God caused some of them to die, but still some people are trying to
We can
take them and blowing back breath into them.
we can talk about that a
All
little
right.
bit later because I think people
Bishop,
out
I
there,
tell you.
no, because folks out there will be now wondering, when do you walk away? Because sometimes people feel forced to stay there. So we're coming to that. We're really coming to that. I want to I want to welcome the folks who are just joining us. You are with me, Pastor Owen Martin, and none other than Bishop Dr. Carla Dunbar, and she is well world renowned. I told you that. Out of Jamaica, I had this big opportunity to just catch up with her today, and thank God that she's here. I decided to make it very special by coming on Z Life Radio via Caribbean Radio and to share with everyone. So I'm so excited about this, ladies and gentlemen, and want to welcome you. Those who are listening on Caribbean Radio, it is wonderful. I just want you to know that we are so grateful, and when we're doing 1 hour here, Dr. Dunbar, and then I extend the boundaries. Did I? Did I extend the boundaries?
Yes, the governor is waiting on me. It's
Okay.
night.
So we're gonna talk some more, and then I'm gonna ask the folks who are listening to me on Z Life Radio platform to come on over to Bro Gary, the YouTube page. Just that's all it is. BroGary.com. That's BROGARY.com. Very easy. So we will switch over after we talk a little while, but I'll give you notice as to when. But it's beautiful tonight. It's Valentine's night, yes, and people, those who are out in the restaurants and those who are on their mission, warming up for who knows what later on. After they're planning to have a great night. But one of the things that I want you to address though is continuity, because people get excited about the day like today.
Mhm.
So continuity in the relationship.
Mhm. So after
I'd love
today,
for, yes, I'd love for you to address that because it's more than just a day.
yeah, well, love is supposed to last, right? But love has to be created, and then love has to
Mhm,
be sustained. A relationship, like a car and a house, need maintenance, and so you have to
mhm.
sustain it. The same thing that you're doing on Valentine's Day, you have to plug that into your relationship ever so often. I was just on another platform where I was sharing with them, listen, you need to reminisce, you need to think back to the things you used to do when you were trying to get connected with the person that you're now connected with. You're not supposed
Mhm.
to take your spouse for granted. So you're still
Yes.
supposed to do the dating. You're still supposed to be the chivalry acts. You're still supposed to, buy the chocolate and the flowers. All it they go all out. And it doesn't have to be expensive. We make dates out to be expensive. It doesn't have to be. It is, it's the sustenance of it and it's the meaning behind it. And so
Yes.
we have to sustain our love, because for you and I to be in a relationship or a marriage for so many years, it means that we would have been sustaining it somehow. It
Mhm.
doesn't sustain itself. Nothing ever just happens. You have to make it happen. So you have to actively create your love and actively recreate it and actively sustain it. So it takes intentionality and being purposeful and be creative
Mhm.
too. Remember when we had COVID the other day, people had to be finding creative ways, don't it?
Yes.
So you
Yes.
have to do it, right?
Mhm.
And for those persons, like I say, if you are suffering from heartbreak or whatever, probably you need to stay away from some things. And though romantic love might not be working for you right now, there are other type of love that you can focus on. You understand? But if it is that it's romantic love, and after today, you're still supposed to sustain it, man. You go all out today and then you flop tomorrow. No. You go all out today and you start planning little things, and it doesn't have to be on the road. You can do it at home. You can plan date nights at home. It doesn't have to be
right.
You understand? You can do simple little things that can be so meaningful. My husband said my best date, my best anniversary was the one we stayed home. And we go to a hotel every year. He said the best one was the one when we stayed home.
So you have to create it. I
had to create it because we had just changed residence, and all the finances was used up in moving. And so we couldn't do what we normally do.
So even a change of residence, a new house, a new location affects it?
Yeah, because the finances, you have to understand, the finances affect money, answers all things, Bishop. So if you don't have the money to do certain things, then it's going to affect it. But what I decided to do was cook what I had in the house. Right? Supper, and do whatever I need to do in the house and create it from the atmosphere that I have. You understand? Ensure that it resonates and that it takes the place, it fills the space of us going out. We still enjoy ourselves. And like I said, it's the one that has stuck with my husband the most. If you're probably asking which of the hotels we have gone, and we have covered all the hotels on the island of Jamaica so far.
Wow.
You probably still remember the one at home.
This is amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, Reverend Dr. Carla Dunbar hanging out with me, here inside of Caribbean Radio on a Tuesday evening. And it's just a great time, to talk about love and be loved, right? That is just an awesome time. So time is racing. When is it that the individual decide that it's time to walk away?
I imagine that will happen over a period of time, but you have to look for red flag signs, right? Because if your values are not the same, then definitely you're going to have problems. But first of all, you have to know what your values are. Because if you don't know what your values are, you won't know what the opposing values are. Right? So if your values are not meshing any at all, you're going in two different directions, like two donkeys going away from the haystack that is in the middle. Understand? So you have to ensure that your values are the same, that you're going in the same direction. If there's constant bickering and you see things like power control and person, that kind of a thing, control, and there's no freedom, for you to be yourself, and your partner always wants you to do what they want you to do, and they're like they want to erase your individuality. Then those are red flags, because that's not going to change. If it starts out that way in dating, it might very well end up being the same way in the process of the marriage. It means that you both need help, and I'm not saying that cannot change in a bishop, because we have changed, we have evolved in our relationship. I'm just saying that you might need a third party objectively to help the person to identify their faults, and if the person is willing to change, to adjust themselves, then it can work. But if not, you have to make a decision. Your peace of mind must be important to you. You understand? And if something is constantly, eroding your peace of mind, if something is constantly threatening your integrity and your character, if something is constantly causing you mystery, if it is so high maintenance that it is draining your energy all the time to keep up appearances, to constantly make this person feel good, and all that, and they don't, it's not mean, I'm not saying love is supposed to be reciprocated, but I'm saying at least it must be not be unrequited, right? Unrequited love is love that is not given back. So when you see these flags, man, then it's time to make your exit. If it is that the person is not willing to go for help. Because remember, everybody comes into a relationship with flaws, so you need fixing too.
So we're not advocating you just get up and run off and divorce and go.
No. You have to try. You have to seek. Divorce is too easily had these days, and I am really sick of it, which is why I am on a quest to mitigate against the divorce rates that exist right now. No, you must exhaust all the options. There must be forgiveness employed, apologies extended. There must be a seeking to partner together, because it's a team effort. Marriage is a team effort, right? It must be that you have exhausted the options of seeking help, because both of you have blind sides, and you will not see what is wrong in your relationship. Husbands and wives, when they are having conflict, they really don't listen to each other. You only hear each other because you're not deaf. You don't listen for it to be active. Listening is active, hearing is passive. So you hear each other because you're not deaf, but you're really not listening to make a difference. So you might need the help of a therapist like myself also to help to see objectively and to be able to point you to what the gray areas, so that if you really want to work on the gray areas, they can be worked on. You know, you don't have to get up and rush for a divorce. God doesn't really like divorce, you know. You don't have to get up and rush for it. I know that there are some marriages that were not meant to be in a bishop, because some people never listen to God or something, or we fell in love with the idea of marriage and not the marriage itself. Because many people fall in love with the idea of marriage.
Right.
It looks nice and glossy and peachy and creamy and ice cream.
Right.
So you want to get married.
But the person who walks away, right? The individual who walks away, how does that person deal with those around the church and the community who does not know the inner workings? Why? The real reason why? Because a lot of people can hear that sister so and so is walking away from her marriage, right? And they don't know exactly what is going on inside, and they will just condemn her or condemn him because they feel as if he should have or she should have stayed and work it out. How do you counsel the male or female who is under attack, so to speak, by the people who are the spectators then?
But the church has to help with that, sir, because in a situation like that, there has to be a support system, for the person, to be able to heal from the trauma of a divorce or a separation. It's traumatic, it's a crisis. So there has to be a support system. And a lot of the times our churches lack this kind of implementation of a social intervention, an intervention that helps in these areas to help persons to heal and to bounce back from situations like this, and to help to ward off the kind of, like you said, the judgmental attacks from people who don't know the inside. And I'd like to say to the persons who are separated, you do not owe anybody any response. You don't owe them an answer. True, you don't owe them an answer. You understand? Too many people want to meddle into people's business. You hear how Job in Job chapter 12 and 13, I think, or 13, 12 and 13. Job said to his friends, what I know, I am not inferior to you. So you just act like you know everything. You come here judging me like you know everything. You don't know everything. Job said, what I know, I'm not inferior to you. I am not answerable to you either.
Yes.
I want to be fierce and reckless. I'm just saying that we can not divulge our information to people, especially if they're not trustworthy.
It is a difficult passage though, because both parties, I mean, the individual who is being divorced and the church needs to know how to treat these individuals, right?
Right, sir.
So that the healing takes place in both sides of the fence.
For both sides of the fence, because the person who has divorced the other person needs healing too. It's just that person would have made up their minds quite a while back, because divorce happens 6 times before it happened the final time. There are 7 different types of divorce. I can't remember all of them out of my head, but it happens 6 times before it reaches a formal stage. Especially for, you understand, so a woman would have thought about it 6 times before she make a final step out of that relationship. Right? Men are a little bit different, but men don't just get up and go either, because we think that men are reckless. They are not. Not in all cases. In some cases they are. Right? And it depends on the ulterior motive, the motive behind getting together in the first place. And so I caution my Caribbean women who are up there in the States. I caution you about the kind of men you marry. Understand that some men are opportunists, and they are just looking for an opportunity. And if you make yourself available as an opportunity, you'll be used. And for some men too, I'm just saying, be cautious. The Bible said, guard the doors of your heart, man. So you have a responsibility to guard your emotions. And guard yourself and not allow everything to come into your space. But if it is that you reach a space where you find that you can no longer cohabit together, and you have exhausted the options of counseling, Not just with your pastor. Sometimes pastors are not trained counselors. You need
Right.
a trained eye. So you can, don't disrespect your pastor, but your pastor must be wise enough to realize when they can't handle the situation and then refer you to somebody else who is able to do it. Nothing is wrong with a referral. That's one of the challenges I have here in Jamaica, where pastors sometimes don't want to refer persons to
Right.
practitioners. You understand? And not all of us are trained to handle the intricacies and dynamics of relationship issues and to be able to help people to heal from those wounds and be able to live again.
So very important, right? That people seek help. If you realize that you need it, seek help before it is too late, because so many of those relationships ends up with tragic, just ends up tragic, and so
especially for the men, we have men commit suicide more than women.
mhm.
Well, yes, the suicide rate here in the Caribbean is higher in men. That's because men don't talk a lot, so they suppress. Right?
Yeah.
My clientele has more men. I have been said to have the largest clientele of men in the island.
More men come to you.
Yes, I create a safe space for them. I was interviewed just in July on RGR radio as to why is it that my clientele of male is so high. I believe it's because I create a safe space for them where they can come and talk and still wipe them eye and leave your match up.
Wow, I think this is very important, though. That men coming to you, men need a safe space. Right? But what would you say? Because sometimes a man don't want to talk to another man.
That happens sometimes too. I guess, Bishop, it has been said that because I'm also a sex therapist, so, that kind of appeal is there to the men. I kind of understand. But the truth is, sir, I have taken the time to study men. While I was studying, I did that because it was important to understand men. You understand? And how they think. To understand they think different from us and they are going to act different from us, and that they are figures of authority and they will not tolerate certain things. So it was important for me to understand men in order to be able to effectively treat with them. So when they come to see me, I know that men can cry.
Yes.
I don't open my head and say, no, man, nobody cry, man. Me a man. No, I allow them because it's an outlet. Crying is therapeutic. God would not give them tear ducts if they were not supposed to cry. And I am not judgmental. Men don't want that. Men are man, And so I create a space where they can come and they can share what is happening with them, and I can make my notation and I can talk to them and I can give them advice and I ask them what they think. And then they can get up and scrape them shoulder and dry them eye and step up into the real world like the man that, you understand, without anybody knowing.
So we're at the wrapping up stage. Let's say that the other party moves on.
Yes, sir.
Right? The wife or the husband wants to get married.
Yes, sir.
Is there a time frame that you would give them, or they want to marry next year and so on?
Well, the truth about it, sir, men will move on faster. Right? A lot of the times men move on faster. When a man's wife dies, you'll find that a man will marry quicker. Right? Because once a man gets into a committed relationship like married, men were not meant to be alone, really and truly. Not that we were meant to be alone, but we were created out of need, and man created out of want. But anyway, right.
That is a powerful one.
A man will move on into another relationship fast in terms of his mourning period.
Yes.
Not wicked and bad and bad, but he needs that sense of stability. Women, because of our emotions and our turmoil, if we get into a rebound relationship, it can be detrimental for us. So I usually say to persons, when you exit a relationship or when your spouse dies or so, take time to recalibrate yourself, to reset yourself, to investigate or to get knowledge of why that relationship went south. What happened there? What did I do or not do, so that you are aware, so you don't make the same mistakes. So take some time to know you. So it's not about a year. Take as long as you want. So it's not a year or 6 months or 3 years. It's as long as you need to be whole and complete again. Because remember, when you're joined to somebody, you become one. When you pull apart, it's like you're torn. So you need time to heal.
Heal before you run on into something else. Yes, that is so true.
Yeah, you need time to heal that torn aspect of yourself. So take as long as you want
I
to
am
heal
so
that torn
grateful
aspect of
tonight. I am
yourself.
so grateful. We are like right there. I got like 2 minutes. Here's the question
Yes,
that
sir.
was on my friend's my friend talked about that earlier on. Women, men, especially black men,
Mhm.
tends to go after brownings.
Mm. Not all of
Why?
them.
Uh,
Sorry, let me just answer the question before you ask. Let me tell you why.
yes.
The Caribbean still contains many features of the plantation society.
Uh,
You understand? That's where this browning thing come from.
uh,
Where women were meant to feel like if they're black, they're not beautiful. And so the men thought that way as well because the high colored persons were the slave masters. You
mhm,
understand? So that bleaching phenomena
mhm,
came into effect right there. And so because we still contain many features of the plantation society, it's perpetuated down to generation. But black
mhm.
is no less beautiful. You understand? And so it's
Yeah.
not the outer appearance of somebody that makes the person. It's the character, it's the integrity of the person that makes the person. So whether or not you're falling in love with a browning or a blackening, if there's such a thing, right? Just understand that it is not what is outward and external. It is what
Mhm.
is inside. It's what comes from the inside that makes the person. Right. So let us not judge because of that. But as I say, it's a lot of work we have to do because of the Caribbean and what it still contains.
I
So
thank you
the
so
work, the
much.
work is started, sir.
I thank you so much. I will have you back at some point so we can talk more, and certainly you'll be able to share with us what's going on, in Jamaica, in your
Most
ministry.
definitely. I did
And
my
all.
ministry too. I'm looking forward
Yes,
to coming on
and
for
I
that.
look
But
forward.
persons want to contact me, sir. Just just follow me on Carla Dunbar Ministries at G Carla Dunbar Ministries. That's what it is. Carla Dunbar, Carla with a C. Just follow me on Facebook, Twitter, IG, YouTube, Carla Dunbar Ministries. And if you follow me, you can know what's happening. Or you can write us at Carla Dunbar Ministries at gmail.com or send a message on any one of those platforms. You can register for the gym. The gym can help you to grow and shape yourself as an individual. It can help you with your courting. It can help husbands and wives, and it can help couples as well. All
There
right.
you have it, ladies and gentlemen, the Right Reverend Bishop Dr. Carla Dunbar out of Jamaica. Thank you so much, and
Thank
we
you for
certainly
having
will
me.
catch up later
Yes,
on.
sir. Bless
I
you.
invite everyone on the platform to come on over, hang out with me on Caribbean Radio, BroGary.com. Let's run over there because I'm going to be there until 9 o'clock. Thank you so much. Blessings and much more blessings on everyone. God bless you. See you on the BroGary.com radio, Caribbean Radio.
That your wisdom is more precious than rubies, even silver and gold. But fine, I can't help but say